Like if you remember in the previous sections, we have seen how we can allow the users of one VLAN to communicate with another VLAN with the help of a router, L3 device. So typically router is L3 device because it is going to identify and forward the packets based on the IPs. And in that, again, we have seen two different methods. We have seen by using a separate physical interfaces, or we can use one interface with multiple sub interfaces logically separated. And also we have seen some of the drawbacks or the disadvantages with the sub interface options. Again, you need to have a dedicated router, single point of failure, and of course there is a congestion, latency, and also not a scalable solution. So in today's network, the most commonly used method for inter-VLAN routing is using L3 switches. Now, the L3 switches will do the same job as a switch. So typically, the job of a switch is a L2. This is a normal job, which means it has to connect the end users and then forward the packet based on the MAC addresses, and of course, logically create some VLANs and configure some trunk links. These all roles comes under layer 2. So that is a typical job of a switch. At the same time, if you talk about router, which is an L3 device, normally the router, if you take an example, so the job of the router is to forward the packets to a remote LAN or remote VLAN. Normally remote LAN we call it as, because VLAN is logically a separate LAN only, and forward the packets based on the IP address. So mostly this job we call it as a routing job. So now if you want to do some kind of routing within the VLAN, so instead of going with a dedicated router, we can use the switch, which can do the job of a layer 2, which means I can still connect the computers and devices. I can still configure the access ports as well as trunk ports, create the VLANs. At the same time, I can make this switch to do the job of a L3 also. So it is going to perform both the layer 2 and the layer 3 functions. So probably dedicating the need for a dedicated, removing the need for having a dedicated router. Of course, here I'm not saying that router is going to be replaced with L3 switch, but most of the routing related jobs within the LAN, you can still work with L3 switch, just like inter-VLAN routing. But again, a router is a dedicated device specially used for some advanced routing concepts. So if you are trying to implement some kind of advanced routing options, basically you will be using a dedicated router. But mostly within the LAN or in between the VLANs, you don't use some advanced concepts. Like generally there is something called VPNs, some security concepts. So basically there are some options, technologies like MPLS. These are dedicated, supported on. These are supported more on dedicated routers. Okay, but these technologies we don't use in our LAN scenarios or in normal WAN scenarios. Okay, so we'll be using L3 switch, or also referred as multi-layer switch, and it's actually a one device which is going to do both the jobs. Like I said just now, the layer 2 LAN switching, where it is going to forward the frames within the VLAN and also configure access links, trunk links, all these options. And also it will do the job of an L3 IP routing, where it is going to forward the packets based on the IP addresses from one network to another network. So it also supports dynamic routing as well as inter-VLAN routing. We'll try to verify both. So most of the dynamic routing options works like OSPF protocol, RIP protocol, EIGRP protocols. Basically, you can implement these protocols on this one. So more on this routing we'll be covering in our routing section. So I'm not getting into in-depth routing concepts because we have a dedicated routing subject covered in the later on classes. And of course, here we'll also see inter-VLAN routing. So I'll try to show you the dynamic routing, some basic example also in the later on lab implementations. And how it is going to do that. So basically here, as we have seen in our previous classes, like if you want to route the traffic from the VLAN 10 users to VLAN 20 users, so you need a gateway, right? So we'll be requiring a gateway. So we need one gateway for VLAN 10 and we need one dedicated gateway for VLAN 20. But on switches, there is no physical gateways. So here We are not going to use any kind of physical gateways, or we are not using any sub interfaces like we used in our previous scenarios. So here we'll use something called SVI, switch virtual interfaces, which will be acting as a gateway for routing the traffic between the VLANs or between the LAN or VLANs. Now, what is SVI? SVI is actually a logical interface, which means physically we are not going to use any of the interfaces. Let's say this is my switch, and this switch is supporting the ports from F0 by 1 to 24. Let's say these are the port numbers. I'm not going to use any of these ports. So these are dedicated layer 2 ports. Means they do switching. I'm not going to use them. But instead of that, I'll be creating an SVI where I'll go to interface VLAN 10, and I'm going to assign the IP address to the VLAN 10. So now this VLAN interface, so I'm using VLAN 10, means this will act as a gateway for all the users of the VLAN 10. This will be the gateway. Now this VLAN 10 is not a physical interface. So we call it as SVI, switch virtual interface, or simply a logical interface. So similar way, if you want to configure the gateway, we'll go and create one interface with VLAN 20, and then we'll assign the IP address. That's it. And this VLAN 20 interface will act as a gateway for all the users of the VLAN 20. So like that, VLAN 30, VLAN 40, VLAN 50, whatever the number of VLANs we have, we can go and create that many SVI interfaces. So which means there is no concept of physical or sub-interface gateway here. So this SVI will act as a logical gateway for all that specific VLAN users. That's what I said, clients connecting to that VLAN. As I said, an example, VLAN 10 users will use the VLAN 10 interface, act as a gateway. So all the users of the VLAN 10 use this gateway, and all the users of VLAN 20 will use this gateway. So in terms of configuration, it's going to be very simple. As I said, we don't need any kind of physical interfaces required. We'll be using a virtual SVI interfaces for using them as a gateway. So most common, and as well as the scalable solution, because even if you have hundreds of VLANs, you don't need to bother about creating 100 sub interfaces or 100 physical interfaces. I can just go and create those virtual interfaces for each VLAN, which will be acting as a gateway and route the traffic between the VLANs.